Good morning, everybody, and today on the Disability Guy, we're going to talk about what happens if you're so disabled you can't really handle your own affairs. There's a plan for that, and we'll tell you what it is right after this.
I want to be your disability rep.
Welcome back. I got Roy Rickstrew, the disability guru, sitting next to me today. Sometimes you just get so disabled, you really got a problem. Maybe you've got a loved one that's disabled. They may not even be able to apply for disability on their own.
Yeah, so what we're going to talk about today is the representative payee process a little bit, and that's just simply if Social Security decides that you're not able to handle your own affairs, then you appoint somebody as a representative payee, manages your bank account, spends your money for you, and make sure that you don't do something foolish with your money.
Yeah, well, that sounds important, kind of like a guardianship.
Similar.
Or, what I like to do for folks before they get in that shape is power of attorney documents, things like that.
And Social Security has a really interesting take on power of attorney. In fact, if you call up there with power of attorney paperwork, it's not uncommon for them to tell you that they won't accept it. They won't take it at all.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because that's a violation of Missouri law. So it kind of pits the feds against the state. It's always interesting to decide who's going to win those arguments.
Yeah, we've encountered that a couple times personally with my father-in-law, with my mother both. Social Security won't like the power of attorneys. But in regards to representative payee, a lot of times folks will go through a court hearing, for example, with an administrative law judge. And a lot of times if they have a history of drug or alcohol abuse, judges will stick a representative payee recommendation. If other times it's a psychological disorder, part of the argument to approve somebody is that they're not able to handle their own affairs. Sure. So it seems reasonable that the judge would come back and say, look, he can't handle his affairs. Maybe we need to look at a representative payee.
Yeah, well, no, that makes a lot of sense in all that scenario. So what does that really mean for somebody? Both parties. What does it mean for the disabled person? What does it mean for the person who's going to have to serve in that role? Yeah,
so the first thing to kind of address there is that when Social Security has a judge that recommends a representative payee, it's not automatic. They have to go into the Social Security Administration, one of the local offices, and at the local level they make the decision as to whether or not a representative payee is necessary. And a lot of times they'll look at whether you're managing your own doctor's appointments, taking care of your own medication, paying your own bills. They're looking for markers to see if you can do this stuff on your own. If you can't, then Social Security will say you need to pick somebody to be a payee. And so a lot of times we'll look to family or friends or girlfriends or husbands or whatever the case may be. If you don't have anybody, then at some point Social Security will look to appoint somebody to do that for you.
Okay. So are there professional appointees out there?
There are. The problem with this is that the payment to be a representative payee is next to nothing. 10% of the benefit or $48 maximum.
Oh, wow.
And so it's hard to find somebody who's willing to take this on. It's a lot of work.
$48 a month maximum. Yeah, that's
yeah. And every year there's an accounting of disclosures basically where you have to go through and say, look, here's how much money came in, here's what I spent it on. You have to be able to kind of do the bookwork that goes along with it. And so, for the individual, they lose direct access to their money. They have to go through an intermediary to be able to buy things. It's protecting them from themselves.
Sure.
For the representative payee themselves, they're taking on a bookkeeping project.
Well, and potentially fiduciary liability as well.
For sure.
If they were accused of mismanaging those funds.
And Social Security cracks down pretty heavily on misuse of funds by representative payees. It's a huge problem. Especially when we talk about people getting back pay and there's quite a bit of money all at once. There's considerable concern about somebody taking advantage of someone who may not know better.
Yeah, well, that's tough. I guess if folks have questions, give you a call.
Yeah, you can give me a ring here at the office. The 417-812-6698 is direct to my desk. We try to do pre-entitlement work, primarily helping people to qualify as opposed to post-entitlement with the representative payee things. But it is a complicated process. Don't mind to answer questions. Give the office a ring. We'll see what we can do to help.
All right, thanks for joining us again, Roy. We'll be back next week with more Disability Guy. Thanks for watching.
I want to be your disability rep.